You got any ID or anything on you? Yeah, she's refusing to come out of the car.
Because you're grabbing my arm very tight.
You ready? Okay. And you have resisted, delayed, and obstructed our investigation. She needs at least a ticket for RDO. CYA. Alright. I'm saying she at least needs a ticket for RDO. CYA.
Yeah.
Can you stitch her a ticket for RDO to CYA? I don't care who writes it, but the CYA, both of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, here's the deal. This is her name and badge number, okay?
Great.
Okay? This is my name, my badge number, and my telephone number, okay? She works directly for me. Are you wanting to file a formal complaint against her right now? Because I'm going to tell you what the process is for this. If you want to bear with me, I'm going to kneel down with you right here, okay? You can call me Kemper. Honestly, you call me whatever.
My wife is terrified of being pulled over by the police. I've spoken to many other women who are. I mean, you're being confronted by somebody sent by your government, wearing body armor, armed with a gun, with authority to harm you, to kill you, to put you in handcuffs, to destroy your life in many number of ways. Who wants that in their life? Welcome back to the Civil Rights Lawyer channel, where I help you understand these sorts of interactions. I've been waiting for the release of this body cam footage out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. We now have it, and it's even more troubling than I expected.
She's still sitting in the driver's seat, the car's still running.
This incident occurred on September 6, 2022. Ms. Dunlap began her workday as a property manager in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Her boss asked her to visit, inspect, and photograph a property where unknown individuals had illegally dumped trash on the property. She arrived, exited her vehicle, and began taking photos of the property with her cell phone. Afterwards, she got back into her car. Suddenly, Officer Haddock with the Fayetteville Police Department approached her. He had parked his vehicle on the private property and represented to Miss Dunlap that he was searching for someone who had run from the police.
How you doing? I just saw you pull back over here. Any reason why you're back over here?
This is my boss's car.
Okay, who's your boss? You got any ID or anything on you?
He then proceeded to interrogate Miss Dunlap, questioning her as to the purpose of her presence on the property, implying that she was engaged in criminal wrongdoing. By the way, Harry Daniels, one of Miss Dunlap's lawyers, publicly challenged the Fayetteville Police Department's claim that officers involved here were looking for a violent suspect who had last been seen a half a mile away from the property. He said that his team obtained police radio traffic, implying that there was no potentially violent suspects nearby. The only person they were looking for was 20 miles away, he said.
Well, I mean, it's all fine and dandy what you're telling me, but, I mean, you know, it just kind of looks suspicious that you pulled out here in the middle of a field. Technically, you could be trespassing. Well, I don't know that. How do I know that?
Detective Bell with the FPD then approached the back of Miss Dunlap's vehicle as Miss Dunlap politely and truthfully cooperated with the interrogation being conducted by Haddock. Bell then retrieved the vehicle's license plate information as Haddock continued to question the driver. However, Haddock's questions and demeanor became more accusatory and harassing. Sensing that the officers were now detaining her under false pretenses without some sufficient legal justification, Miss Dunlap asserted her right to be free from unlawful seizures and requested to leave the property. Officer Haddock informed Miss Dunlap that she was not permitted to leave and therefore seized her for Fourth Amendment purposes. He demanded Miss Dunlap's identification card. She provided her name as well as other information but did not provide her card.
Go ahead, just step out of the car.
Okay.
Just step out of the vehicle.
Let go of me.
Step out.
You can let go of me. I will.
Miss Dunlap began to record with her cell phone. I first became aware of this case only after the cell phone footage was released publicly. A lawsuit was filed by Miss Dunlap. As we've seen with other North Carolina cases, it can be difficult to get law enforcement to release body cam footage. In fact, you have to get a court order, which they did in this case. So a few days ago, the body cam footage was released, and here we are.
Ma'am, all I've asked you for is your ID so we can make sure that you're not trespassing.
Upon seeing that Miss Dunlap was recording them, detaining a citizen on private property without reasonable suspicion or probable cause, Detective Bell, the female officer, then approached the driver's side door and began physically pulling at Miss Dunlap, attempting to forcefully manhandle her out of the vehicle.
If
Okay.
you can let go of me, ma'am, I will. If you can let go of me, ma'am, I will. Ma'am, please stop. Please stop. Can y'all stop?
Okay.
Like, what are you doing?
Go ahead. Yeah, it's unhooked.
Please stop.
Ma'am,
Please let
all I've asked you for is your ID so we can make sure that you're not trespassing.
The officers then forcefully removed Miss Dunlap from the vehicle, snatched her cell phone out of her hand, thus ending her protected free speech recording of law enforcement actively engaged in misconduct, and physically harming her and handcuffing her.
You got me. Okay, all right. What are you doing?
Ma'am, step out of the car.
Okay, don't drag me out.
Then get out of the car.
I will if you will let me. If you will release my arm.
Get out of the car.
If you will release my arm.
Ryan, you get over there?
Yeah, she's refusing to come out of the car.
Because you're grabbing my arm very tightly.
You ready?
Okay, now
You're
hang on.
grabbing my arm
Hang on.
very
Let her
tightly.
go. She ain't going nowhere now. Look.
Let me go.
Okay.
And
Now-
I'll get the fuck out.
Okay. Step back and
Don't
let her
start.
ID right
Okay.
there.
Step
Okay,
out.
it
Now step
sure
out of-
is.
Okay, now
And
step
you're
out
not
of the car.
getting it because I know I haven't did it.
Okay, well step out of the car.
Okay.
How many times have I asked you not?
Please, let go of me.
Stop.
What are you doing? Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me because I haven't fucking did anything. Let
Okay,
go.
stop. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Ma'am,
Give me my phone.
stop resisting.
Give me my phone.
Ma'am,
Give
stop.
me my phone.
Stop resisting.
Y'all are hurting me. She's hurting me.
No, she's
Yes,
not.
she is.
She's not.
Yes,
Ma'am.
she is.
Do you-
Let go of me.
Sit down.
Miss Dunlap had an underlying condition of sickle cell anemia. She began hyperventilating, she began breathing irregularly, and then vomiting. As this was happening, the officers opened Miss Dunlap's fanny pack and obtained her identification card without her consent.
We are investigating
What am
you.
I being charged with?
We are investigating you trespassing on this property.
But I'm not.
Okay? And you have resisted, delayed, and obstructed our investigation. Okay? And resisted while we were trying to get you out of the car. Okay?
Do not. Okay, look at me for a second. Alright, listen, look at me for a second. Right now, you're not in any trouble.
So why am I in handcuffs?
Okay, because right now, listen, I'm just looking.
Why am I in handcuffs if I'm not in trouble?
Right now, you just being.
I know my fucking rights.
Alright, listen.
I know I ain't did shit wrong.
Alright, right now, you're just being detained. Nobody's saying you're under arrest. Okay?
But what have I done wrong? I haven't done shit wrong.
Okay, so this is the thing, alright? We were over here in this area looking for somebody, alright?
No, it ain't me.
No, it ain't you. All
Okay,
right?
so what
Hold
do
on
I
a second. Let me finish. All right? He came over here to talk to you to find out if you knew anything about what was going
And
on.
I just said I did it.
Right. Okay, and that's fine. We're going to do our thing, and then we're probably going to cut you loose, okay?
After Miss Dunlap is already in handcuffs, Sergeant Chris Kempf arrives on the scene. After seeing what's transpiring, he releases Miss Dunlap from the handcuffs. However, the officer still had her keys and she was unable to leave the scene.
I don't know.
All that was unnecessary. Ripping my fanny pack off and trying to throw me out the car and shit like that. Yeah. Yeah. That one right there. So I'm damn sure pressing
They'll
charges
leave it?
on her.
Huh?
Leaving?
Best believe.
I just told her to back up.
Okay.
Best
Yeah.
believe.
I just want to make sure she's clear.
She is.
She is?
All right, go ahead and stand up. We're going to get you out of handcuffs.
Okay, but all that shit that bitch did over there was unnecessary.
Okay.
I was talking to you, and I would have got out the car if you told me.
And did I
told me
not?
to get
Did
out
I
the car.
not? Did I not let you get out of the car on your own?
I
No, hang on. But
All right, so hey, real quick. All right? So, you understand why we were out here just asking you shit questions, yes?
I hear you.
Okay. We weren't trying to give you a hard time, okay?
No, that bitch was. And I want her name. She done scratched me up and shit. Yeah. I want that bitch name.
see what?
All right. Her name is Detective Bell.
What's the first name? What's her badge number? Yeah.
Do you have a pen? Or a piece of paper?
Yeah.
In case you didn't catch what he just said, this is where an attempted cover-up ensues. The officers realize that they had messed up. So let's switch to the other body cam where you can actually hear what they're saying.
Scratch me up this shit.
At least a ticket for RDO.
I want that bitch name.
CYA.
Alright.
I'm saying she at least needs a ticket for RDO. CYA.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and.
Okay.
Is she gonna write it? Or you gonna write it?
I don't have anything to write it with. If she's got her computer,
Yeah,
I
go
have
ahead and see
her write
it.
and put me as a witness.
Okay, that's fine.
Hold on to those.
So what they're talking about is we have to give her a ticket for RDO for CYA. Now, obviously, CYA means cover your ass. Now, what does RDO mean? That is the North Carolina General Statute for resisting, delaying, or obstructing an officer. That's 14-223 in North Carolina, and it reads as follows. If any person shall willfully and unlawfully resist, delay, or obstruct a police officer in discharging or attempting to discharge a duty of his office, he shall be guilty of Class 2 misdemeanor. However, when giving orders or making an arrest, the officer must be lawfully discharging his or her official duties, which might be a problem for them here.
Can you stitch her a ticket for RDO to CYA? You don't have a printer? Does anybody? I don't care who writes it, but the CYA, both of us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree, because,
Alright, you put me down as a witness or whatever you need to do.
yeah, absolutely.
So as they're sort of conspiring here to falsely charge Miss Dunlap with RDO, the higher-ups nix that idea and say, no, only a warning.
A warning?
Yeah, I don't want her. She doesn't need to be done.
Okay. Sorry, Andrew said just do a warning. Like, at least some piece of paper.
And actually, there was no citation ever given. The officers never provided Miss Dunlap with a citation or any other charging document. But you can see when the supervisor now, he goes over to her car and he's sort of apologizing to her. He's convincing her that he can make things right. He can look into what happened, etc., etc. But at the same time, he's also taking pictures of her. And she, mind you, she's not been released yet. They still have her keys. You'll see at the end when they give the keys back, only after they forced her to stand there and be photographed. And this is actually outrageous to me, but take a look.
Yeah, she said she didn't eat. I saw you throw up. Are you sure you're okay? Was it just stress that caused that?
So, all that shit was unnecessary. My record is clean. I ain't never been in handcuffs. Ever. I ain't never been arrested.
Well, here's the deal. This is her name and badge number, okay?
Great.
Okay? This is my name, my badge number, and my telephone number, okay? She works directly for me, okay? Are you wanting to file a formal complaint against her right now? Because I'm going to tell you what the process is for this. If you want to bear with me, I'm going to kneel down with you right here, okay? So come down, write a formal statement for me. So text me, let me know when you're coming down, all right? Let me see your hand real quick. I don't know what you had or previously. Are we saying? No, I'm not. I'm just saying. Is this what you're saying right here?
That right there and that right there.
Okay, I'll snap a photo of that real quick, okay? And do me a favor, like I said, you're gonna have to text me and let me know so we can meet up. It's at 4. I'll write it down for you as well. You can call me Kemper. Honestly, you call me whatever. Okay? It's just whatever's easiest for you.
Oh, no doubt that she got nervous and
She's tied to this guy, right?
I don't know yet. I haven't been able to look at anything. I sent it all to Bane to see if we can find
What all did y'all explain to her? What all did y'all say?
Well, first I explained to
No,
her.
I'm talking about.
she's perfectly fine. However, she does want to make. She's upset. She's not upset at the situation. She's more upset, unfortunately, at Bell than anybody else.
And how she was removed from the vehicle.
All right, you got your camera on there, right?
Yeah, don't worry about that. I've talked to her. I gave her my information, your information, told her to come see me
So
tomorrow, and we'll write it all down.
She's fine now. She's calm. She just wants to go. So I've got her keys. I'm going to give her keys and let her go. But she's got everything that she needs if she decides that she wants to come down and do anything else. But as far as, like, she wasn't taken to the ground or anything like that. She wasn't...
Okay. Jelana, let me see your hand real quick, not with the phone in it. Sorry. Lay it out for me. No, don't fist it like you won't fight me. Come on. All right, hold on. Got a little bit of a shadow. Don't move. We're saying these two right here? Okay. Okay, let me take a look at you real quick. Could you stand up for me real quick? I'm just going to get a full frontal shot. All right. Here are your car keys. Do you need anything else from me, ma'am? I know it's a little stressful, but you're sure you're good? I just realized I could have known your name if I'd have just looked down on your shoes. I'm just going to watch you go out to make sure everything's good, okay?
On October 25, 2022, she filed a federal Section 1983 lawsuit against the city of Fayetteville, the chief of police, Officer Haddock, and Detective Amanda Bell. There are three primary civil rights violations here under federal law: unreasonable search and seizure under the Fourth Amendment for the initial seizure and then the prolonged detention, excessive force under the Fourth Amendment for the manner in which Miss Dunlap was taken into custody, as well as First Amendment retaliation for the officer's response to Miss Dunlap filming them. But it all goes back to the illegality of the initial seizure, which occurred in the absence of reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion is this: to support a finding of reasonable suspicion, we require the officer who detains the individual to either articulate why a particular behavior is suspicious or to logically demonstrate, given the surrounding circumstances, that the behavior is likely to be indicative of some more sinister activity than may appear at first glance. So, reasonable suspicion must be particularized to the individual. It cannot be categorical or generalized. Okay, it should be based on suspicion of illegal conduct. Some cases do hold that an amalgamation of legal conduct can equal suspicion of criminal conduct. Under some circumstances, that is awful law. I disagree with it, and it can depend on between the federal circuits. Anyways, here the officers were allegedly looking for someone. We have limited facts about that. In order to even come close to providing justification for even a brief investigatory detention of Miss Dunlap, there must have been some information particular to Miss Dunlap connecting her with some suspicion that she could be that individual they were allegedly looking for. Was the suspect last seen heading towards the property where this occurred? Did the suspect match Miss Dunlap's description? I highly doubt that any of that is the case here, but let's wait and see what happens when the evidence and the testimony is sorted out. As always, thanks for watching. You can find more detailed information on this at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. I'll post a copy of the lawsuit that was filed in federal court. Please make sure to subscribe if you enjoy this type of content, which is the best way to learn the law. You use specific facts and then try to apply the law to it. Let me know in the comments if you would apply the law differently here or you see the facts in a different way. For those of you who are police officers, how would you have handled this differently? Perhaps you would have had better things to do that day. Freedom is scary. Deal with it. I'll see you next time.